So just want to introduce Project 3, go over what we'll be working on. And you can download the assignment here. It's pretty much the same material that's here on the post. And then the post that's related to what behavior design is and what the Internet of Things is linked to here, right? Here's that post. And, it's the normal stuff. I linked to the resources and I've created a video going through the material. So you can view over here and have a look through that. Just the basic assignment sheet, all the normal stuff. So let's just run through what the assignment is. So you're going to choose an activity that you participate in normally and design or redesign a digital product that enables you to interact with that activity in a more effective, easier, fun way. So the project must include two things. One, it has to incorporate the use of data from a third-party source, or include a smart device that collects the data to be used by the product, right? So you can take advantage of publicly available data. The app could take advantage of data in the environment, where the location data. It could record audio, whatever it does. We'll see some examples of how people took advantage of that. And secondly, it has to include some feature that utilizes some type of leading edge technology in mobile devices. And that could be augmented reality or virtual reality. It could be artificial intelligence, could have some voice interactions, that it uses the sensors in the phone in some interesting way, that it does visual recognition, right? That you can, that it'll read images or things in the environment and analyze them. So those two things must be part of whatever your project is. The project is a capstone for the course. So what I mean by that is that projects 1 and 2, we went through very step-by-step, methodically through all the phases in a project that you need to be familiar with. But out in regular practice, you're not going to always go through all those steps exactly the way we did. You're going to use all of those techniques and apply them in different ways to different projects. And in this project, I want you to have some experience doing that. So now you've been introduced to all the things you could use. As you go through this project, you're going to decide which ones of those processes were the most useful to you or would be the most useful to you in this project. And part of the evaluation of this project is how well you use those skills and materials that we've covered in completing this project. So some areas that you can consider doing a project in, right? Services. So improving and interacting with a service or process you participate in. That could be a commercial service, or something for the public good. Home and personal, elder monitoring, cooking, shopping, security, energy efficiency, entertainment, travel, any of those would all be great. Something that works with the environment, right? That helps navigate campus or an urban setting, or work with agriculture, sustainability, whatever. And finally, wearables, right? That's an interesting and new area happening. I don't have any preference, right? So anything, and if there's something else on this list, or that's not on this list that you would like to do, I'm open to that, right? I think that's totally fine. People have done interactive television apps. They've done watch apps, all kinds, anything, any digital product. I'm totally open to those ideas. So let's take a look at some of the examples of past projects. So this is all from these projects were all A or A- projects from last semester. So Universe, astrology, everything. So this is a fun astrology, star chart, horoscope app. Targeting all the users and looking at the existing apps, going through all the UX diagramming, figuring out all the features and what it was going to do. The initial sketches, getting into the wireframes, right? And then here we are in the initial design, doing all the illustrations, final design, color sections, and Oh, here we go. And right, and here's the interactive feature of the AR, right? So it would do a digital palm reading. So you'd hold your hand up to the phone, take a picture of it, then that would get scanned, and it would find all of the lines that it could read for doing a palm reading. So that was a great, sort of a great use. It fit really wonderfully into the whole project. All right, what the final design ended up looking like. Next is home control, and this was for a smart home system. So all of these devices would be connected to the network. You set them all up, and then you could control and monitor and track them all from a central location. Setting up what her goals were, right? How you had to deal with setting them up and then getting them automated and then staying updated on how everything was operating. Adding some additional devices, right? Maybe that she would be able to connect into the system. Existing apps. All right, then go through all of her UX process. And then starting her UI design. All right, and this is her onboarding process. How to add devices. The control panel once everything was all set up. All right, and then sort of controlling each individual device. So overall, it really came out great, worked out really nicely. Interface is all beautiful. So just great job all around. So the Sleep Space app, right, and it would help improve sleeping habits and encouraging people to perform better. Right, so setting her goals, researching the existing apps. All right, some of these are devices, so some of these devices would actually attach to people while they slept and get really specific. And then what her takeaways were, right, sort of what she identified from the research. Doing her process, going through the steps, figuring out her features, what she wanted, personas, her initial sketches, and then to her wireframes. First round of UI design, right? Getting it tighter, working through. And then what our final looked like, right? For day and nighttime colorations. And it included some things like achievements. So, when you hit your goal, then one of these items would light up and become part of your constellation. Her data visualizations all worked out really well. All right, lastly is Votology, an app to help people get registered and find their voting location, and ultimately someday vote on their phone. So just understanding the goals, like this sort of design process where she identifies all the tools that she's going to use in doing the design. Then into the research, right, and all her UX mental models, her sketches, initial UI design, her branding standards, and then showed a nice overview of some of the main screens with really sort of short, simple, clear explanations of what the main features were that she was really interested in dealing with. Right? It doesn't include every screen, but it definitely hits all the high points. Okay. All right. All right, there we go. So, lastly, just want to talk about the schedule a little bit. So I made it sound like, all work must be handed in. That's true as far as it goes. Again, I'm not gonna hassle you on each specific week. There's a lot to do in the project, right? Ultimately, it's all due for our final, right? So I've come up with this schedule to help keep everybody on track. If you work to it, right, it'll go smoothly. But, if you get a little off track, you're a little ahead, you're a little behind, that's fine. As long as you're making progress each week as we review, right, this project is really in your hands. We're starting here today on the 18th. It's due for the final meeting of class. You have to cover all the stuff that's on this list. As long as you do that, you'll be fine. I don't expect anything due on the 25th, 23rd, whatever this day is in here that we've missed, because that's when Project 2 is due. So I want everybody concentrating on finishing up Project 2 strong. So what we're doing now is just sort of thinking about what you're going to work on. And if you have time, you want to get started, great. Go ahead and jump ahead on the research if you've chosen a project. But just let me know what you want to work on, or if you're struggling to pick a project, we can get that figured out. And then after Project 2 is handed in, we jump in with both feet on this project, and we basically spend the last month of the semester working through it, right? So you do the research, right? You start to get a format together, do your UX design. On the 15th, we don't have class, which is unfortunate for this project. But, if your UX design is all done here and we've had a chance to review it and you're in good shape, then you move on to the screen design. We don't have anything due. We won't meet on the 15th. But if you want feedback between, the 8th and the 22nd, when the final design, we're targeting to have that done, schedule a review, and I'm happy to give you feedback during this 2 weeks, right? We still have plenty of time once we come back from that. If you don't do that, right, and we're here, maybe it's really not the final, maybe it's a little like almost a final, whatever, right? You still have time to tighten it up as you go into prototyping, and even more time to tighten up for another week before the final. So we have plenty of time to do this. It should be all in good shape, so that, I think, is it. That covers everything. And so if you have any questions, you email me or schedule time on my calendar. I'm happy to review this with you in more detail. Good luck.